Hi, welcome back. The next stage that I'm going to show you is the blocking out or skinning stage, which is the sort of first step of sculpting. I'm going to use green stuff. When I'm sculpting, I do sometimes mix Magic Sculpts with the green stuff on various layers. But I think it's best to use initially just green stuff because it has a slight sort of flex to it, so if you do need to sort of bend the armature slightly, it's not going to crack or break or anything. So yeah, the first thing I'm going to do is just put a little dab of super glue on the feet. I do this just to make sure it's secure in place and it's not going to go down at all as I'm putting the green stuff on, so the feet don't get sort of lost in the cork. So I'll just do that and just wipe off any sort of larger excess. Right, then just give that a spray with the magic activator. Just blow that off. Right, next, using an old tool, I'm going to get my green stuff ready. So I mean, you probably know this already from other videos or tutorials, that it's best to sort of remove that middle part where the blue meets the yellow epoxy, because it sort of goes off on that piece and you end up with hard pieces in your mix. Right, so just mixing the green stuff now, and I think if you mix more blue in, you're going to get a sort of a more stiffer mix of green stuff, and also I think it goes off quicker. But sort of half and half is fine for this. Just blocking out. I mean, even if you want to use more yellow, softer, yeah, it's up to your preference really. At this point it is quite sticky, but that's good because you want it to adhere to the metal armature. Right, so I'm just rolling it. You can also twist it like that, or just keep pulling it until it's a nice uniform green. Right, so where's the one that we're doing? This one. Right, okay. Right, so just taking sort of a sausage, long sausage, and I'm just going to drape that and stick it to the legs. You don't want it too thick, just enough sort of to cover the metal at this point, because you might find that it becomes a bit too thick if you put too much on when you come to do the next layer, or if you're going to do 3 layers, it will become quite bulky. So I actually forgot to get some water. I've got a habit of licking the tool, but I tend to use water when I can. Hang on, I'll just go and get some water. It's a good habit. Okay, I'm back. Also, this tool that I'm using, great tool from Bees Putty. Had this a long time now. They now do, I believe, interchangeable tool ends. Hopefully, Stefan will be. Well, I'll get in touch with him and see if I can get another tool. But this one's very, very good. I use this for most of my work. So it's got a nice tip there. This tip, so very nice. I don't tend to use that much, mainly this one. So just dipping in a bit of water so it doesn't stick, and then just, I mean, again, there's no rush, so you just get it covered nicely. I think when you're actually mixing the amounts, that again is just practice, and also, you know, what sort of width to do your sausage. I mean, I would sort of recommend putting on less to begin with and then adding more. As I mentioned before, you don't want to bulk it out too much in the beginning. Well, depending on what figure you're going to make, if it's an ogre or a bigger piece, then yeah, you might want to bulk it out considerably, and possibly do a couple of runs, you know, bulking it out once and then doing a second pass. That's what I tend to do anyway. I think if you try and do too much too quickly, the results, well, you'll find it harder to actually get it to stick on the wire. It will start misshaping, and so it's better to sort of start with a small amount and build on it. You know, wait for that to set, then do another layer. And yeah, I mean, going back onto the Bees Putty range, I have used Bees Putty, and I do think it's very good. But for me, doing smaller figures, I just prefer the stiffness of the green stuff. It's it just takes the detail. For me, it takes the detail better, and up better with better results. But saying that, you know, Bees Putty has got, you know, I have actually made some skeletons using Bees Putty, so you can use it for that. And I think I was only using initially the sort of standard Bees Putty. I know he's got firm and extra firm now, so you know, I might give those a try. It's I just found that, you know, the green stuff is also, when it sets, it's not as brittle, especially when you're making figures for you know, metal casting. The green stuff, it's stronger. You know, the figure, if you try and make a mould for metal casting, you know, that polyclay is gonna be sort of, it's gonna break. You know, it's quite brittle, whilst the green stuff is more rubbery. So I'm just using my fingers now just to get the shape. It doesn't matter about fingerprints at this stage because you're going to cover it over anyway. I'll just use a bit more, just get a little bit more on here. get an even coat on the legs. I tend to apply the green stuff with my fingers most of the time. Well, you know, sometimes it sticks to the tool and it can be annoying, so you can sort of put a bit of anatomy into the piece at this stage as well. Just a little bit of, you know, just sketch it out a little bit. Suggestions and guides to where the leg muscles are, the hips, etc. So yeah, with the hips, you know, you sort of want to cut that in a little bit. You don't want those thick. You want sort of that depth in there. He's got quite a thick neck right now, so what I'm going to do is just take a little bit of that green stuff away around the top of the neck. We don't want that too thick. And sort of making his head, or sort of a ball for his head. His head's going to go. And then I'm just finishing off the legs. Just adding water so it doesn't stick. Just making sure there's no air pockets in there and it's all gripping the armature nice. Right, I'm going to switch off at this point. Also, another useful tip is I've got this here. Now this, I can't actually remember where I got this from, but I have seen these available on eBay, and they're not very expensive. It's for keeping your tea warm, but there's a hot plate there. And it is, you know, it does get up to heat, and I found it very, very useful for curing the green stuff. So you know, you can put it in an angle and just leave it there. Just found it quite easy to use, you know, rather than having a light, just having a hot plate there and putting the stuff on. Yeah, pretty easy. Anyway, I'm going to skin those other two, and I'll get back to you guys in a minute.